Hello and welcome to the second episode of Vantage Point webcast. So, like every time, we have two eminent guests who come here and we discuss one extremely critical issue which is being faced by the HR fraternity across the world. So, as you know, this webcast is brought to you by Vantage Circle. Vantage Circle is an acclaimed AI-powered SaaS employee engagement platform that devises simple but an easy yet effective employee engagement global solutions for global workforce. It is currently helping more than 600 organizations across the world with the best experiences for easy rewards, recognition solutions, employee experiences, and employee wellness solutions. They have recognized the Vantage Point webcast for, they have designed the Vantage Point webcast for, especially for the HR fraternity. And we pick up one topic, which is a burning topic. And we bring in experts and in a free-flowing discussion where we can actually discuss this topic. And there is a lot of takeaway for the young HR leaders who are currently facing these kind of issues at their workplace. Today, we have two eminent guests for this webcast of today, which is with our topic being, can great recognitions replace great resignations? Recognitions replaced by resignation. So it's a great, interesting, intense topic. Two immensely experienced guests who are here and who have got the experience and who have been not only through the journeys, have implemented such recognition used such recognition platforms, but have had to combat several of these challenges over a period of at least 2 decades. Both of them, let me introduce you to Shashwati. Ms. Shashwati Sinha is the head of HR for EvalueServe. She has over 23 years of experience spreading across industries like ITS, advertising, media, KPO, and so on and so forth. She has won multiple awards in her professional journey, including Top 100 HR Minds in India in 2018, Top 201 HR Minds 2019, and 2020. It is by the World HRD Congress. She has been recognized as the global leader to look up to in 2021 by Passion Vista, Lifestyle, and Business Publication. So she is a woman whom a lot of women HR leaders look up to. Not only why women HR leaders, but every HR leader looks up to Shashwati as one of the flag bearers of this young, dynamic HR fraternity that she represents. She is currently heading the Human Resources and Business HR portfolio of EvalueServe as the head of Human Resources. We are happy to have you here, Shashwati. It's really a privilege to have you here.
Thank you so much, Kaustubh. Thank you.
Our second guest is no less Prasenjit Mukherjee. He is the current head of HR, global head of HR for SRK Consulting Group as the group's country head, group's group head of human resources function. This group has been creating brands in the global marketplace. Prasenjit comes with close to 20 plus years of experience, and during his career, he has worked towards mid and large scale organizations in people development. Prasenjit's intro, while being small, he has had several accolades during his career and is seen to be an expert on talent management and talent development. Welcome to the show, Prasenjit. And I am Kaustubh Sonalkar. I am the strategic advisor to Vantage Circle.
Thanks, Kaustubh.
So without wasting any more time, I'm going to go straight into the topic. The topic being, can great recognitions replace great resignations? Coming to you straight up, Shashwati, my question to you would be, resignations have been always seen as something that, attrition has always been a huge issue for organizations. And there are so many people. We have seen this trend actually, is being continuing. And today, after COVID, while you look at what have we learned, we are kind of seeing this kind of resignation, the great resignation being a huge issue for the human resource function. How do you view this, especially pre-COVID and post-COVID? And has it really changed, or do you see it? Is it on your face more today?
Okay, so well, I think we have beaten this topic to death by now. I think we have been talking and talking and talking about the Great Resignation. We have turned it into a movement, and so it is. If you in relative ranking. So my thoughts on the Great Resignation and people quitting is that I think there are two different aspects to it. First is pandemic related, because during pandemic many industries lost out, right? And people were also talent was also conservative. They were dealing with many other issues than just their career or job, and they were not moving. They were sitting tight, figuring out what to do, how to do. Pandemic just hit us. Industries, businesses were again going conservative. Some industries lost out, like the hospitality, people were not traveling, etc. Then came slow revival. Everything turns, there is always peak and trough. So then came the slow revival, which was second quarter of 2021, and industries started opening up jobs. The bigger organizations now wanted to make up for the lost time, so jobs were created. The industries which has lost out now started opening up, so more jobs were created. Talent got more opportunities. I think that is first. So there are more opportunities. Suddenly there are more opportunities. Resignations were always there. Attrition was always there. Were always leaving. I think the difference now is it's become industry agnostic, it's become level agnostic, and it's become geography agnostic. Everywhere, because of the pandemic, there was a propeller, there was a stagnation, and now there is a propeller. So I think talent realized there are more opportunities. Organizations have opened up more jobs, so demand and supply. That's where that is first. Second thing is that, during the pandemic, people have started to realize what is priority. They realize that life is, anything can happen at any point of time. So what do I do? What is my priority? Well-being, your own dreams, your own milestones became very important for them. They are now wanting to do it quickly and very fast. They don't want to wait, see, measure. They've done it for 2 years. Now they want to quickly make up and move forward with whatever their priorities are. They have prioritized. It is not just about a job and money right now. It is more about what I want to do, what is my purpose, what gives me satisfaction, what is my well-being saying, how can I be more with my family, because I know that tomorrow anything can happen. So this prioritization has happened in talent's mind, in everybody's mind, and many have gone through losses. So that's the negative part of pandemic. So people have prioritized. These two aspects, I think, has led to a movement which we have now termed as the Great Resignation. And there are a lot of aspects to it, but I leave some of it to Prasenjit because it's a very huge topic, and I think all of us are trying to figure out in our own ways how to manage it. So next, Prasenjit can just add to whatever I have said.
Absolutely, and I think Prasenjit, we would love to hear from you your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I think what Shashwati said, that Great Resignation is a huge topic. We spoke on a lot of things, a lot of data and research has happened. Even today, if you look at, there is a study that has come that 86% of the population are now rethinking to changing their jobs. They're thinking to switch their jobs in the current year. So attrition is a continuous flow. It would keep on happening. Now we need to move from the mindset that, okay, how we can traditionally retain people, then probably looking at another aspect, that how we can ensure that they are like greatly engaged. So I think one important aspect is that while we talk about great resignation, it is also to look into fact deep down based on our businesses, because every industry, every organization has different business line, how we can greatly engage people. So I think this is a mindset that has played in all HR leaders, that now it is a great engagement, and of course, which brings a lot of great resignations, which we'll discuss. So I think that's something which we are looking at. But yes, it is a tradition. I mean, you can't change it. The numbers should not go down as far as we foresee in about 2 to 3 years span. I mean, one person had 7 to 8 offers, it will still happen. It was there in 21, it is there in 22, it will remain in 23. But how are you kind of managing it with engaging your people, giving a lot of flexibility, ensure that your people are, kind of working at workplaces and enjoying the work, rather than pushing them a lot of things on you come to office and work and all that. So I think that is mostly important, to engage them as per their expectation rather than what you think that is right. So we can discuss more on that, but mostly online. I can think about on those lines. Yeah.
So I just to add on, I think this is getting interesting, because if you look at it, it's a great resignations across. It's a global phenomenon. People have been leaving. People
Yeah.
have not been leaving. What we see is that, while there is an issue with Indian companies, which we are privy to, plus there are global organizations which are facing those. But India has a very peculiar issue. India's economy seems to be on the upswing. We are growing at a faster pace than most of the global economies. Most of the economies seem dipping down. India is on an upswing there. People were always seen as leaving managers. Are people leaving situations? Are people leaving in managers? Or is it that there is larger opportunity at stake outside? Where today, while in India, there could be a situation where we say, our Prime Minister has been speaking a lot about entrepreneurship. Are organizations building entrepreneurs within? How is it that it is impacting? Because that has become one major cause of resignations in today's world. How would you see this change coming up? One, are they leaving managers? Two, is entrepreneurship the reason why people want to go on their own more? And three, is it an India phenomena? Is India phenomena compared to the global phenomena? How do you see this change happening? Yeah, Shaswati, it's an open question to both of
Okay.
you. Shaswati can
Okay.
take on. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So, Prasenjit can add to whatever I say. Okay, so quickly,
Okay.
I think, yeah, so I think globally, if you look at it, where we are saying, I think in US, it's more about the blue collar, right? The wage, the workers. I think they have realized now that they need to earn more, do more. For India, it is mostly about the white collared. It's not about the blue collared, where they are getting many, many opportunities. Now, are they leaving managers? That's a reality which is not going to change. People leave people. It's a given. If you are a very good manager, you are anyhow creating situation for the person to be more productive. You are anyhow trying to engage your team members more. You are trying to figure out, you are being empathetic. So you are creating all that is required for a talent or a team member to flourish. You are not just saying, oh, I want this deliverable, oh, you have not logged in at this point of time, oh, you did not do this. You're not doing that. That's tactical. You are honing on the humane skills also if you are a good manager. So people leave people. That is not going to change. I think what has happened is people have now become more cognizant about situations also. Before, maybe it was just about the manager. Now they are thinking purpose. My manager is great. but where is this organization going, and am I really liking the overall holistic path that I will have here? And if you are a good manager, you can preempt this. The talent tells you that, hey, listen, I don't think I'm aligning, and then proceeds to separate from the situation. So they are becoming more cognizant, more aware of the situation. They are taking decisions basis not just my manager is great, but also where am I, where I want to be, where I want to go. And the last part is, of course, you are getting options. If you are upskilling yourself continuously, if you are relevant, given the demand, then there are options. It's like a movie theater, right? You take a ticket. You have done a ticketing, and you take a ticket. You enter a movie theater. The film is a flop, and the movie theater is half empty. You sit on your allocated seat, and then you check, oh my god, the aisle seat is empty, can I just hop there and sit there? Oh, the seat near the exit looks better, can I go there? You try out all those seats. But if it is a packed hall, then you sit in your middle seat only and watch the movie, right? So I think the options are there more, and people are trying out what is best for me, what best situation is it for me, and then manager, of course, plays a big role, I believe. Prasenjit, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Shashwati. So, Kaustubh, one thing we need to understand what is more important, I wanted to put it here, that people management is manager's responsibility for sure, right? Many a time people think that, okay, HR is going to shape it up, but people management is something which completely on managers take, how they are managing people, how they are engaging it. Now it is also linked with the culture of the company. Now this is where the the complicated part comes. Now an employee looks at organization at a culture from their standpoint. So if I'm an employee, I look at how I see at my company as a culture, and maybe there is someone else who has a different way of looking at things when it comes to culture of the organization. But foundation of the culture also, has a major role of the play of the founders and the entrepreneurs in the organization. How they set up a mass culture, how they set up the base rule, right? Now, here while global workforce, they have free will employment, and then the impact is mostly on blue collar, the white collar job. If you look at the statistics, the mid level guys, the middle management, junior to mid management has the most impact of resignations, and that has various factors. Now, like Saraswati said, they're looking at a purpose, they're looking at, okay, not just compensation. The compensation we need to, compensation part, we need to put it off the table, because compensation is not the only way why people look change. I mean, you will have a lot of topics where people are discussing, okay, match the compensation and then you can retain. Actually, it is not the case. Largely, if you go to Aon study or any research study, they would say that there are a lot of things which actually impact people to rethink to change their jobs. Are they taking flexibility? They go for a culture. They look at what are the surveys that are there and online. They find out industry. Today, you have LinkedIn, where people do a lot of research. They do networking. They see the social side of the company. They look at the employer brand, how you are putting out, what are the best practices. Do organization invest in mental health? Do organization invest in caring for people? Are they giving enough flexibility? Again, how you're engaging with people. Now, communication is not engagement. You talk to your team members, that doesn't mean they will be, loyal to you. Loyalty is a myth. There is nothing called loyalty. Okay, so it is all professional relationship, and it's today the new generation. When you say new generation, which is the digital generation, okay, they look at what's in it for me, what I can contribute, what value I can add, okay, and how I can grow. These four things are extremely important for an individual. An organization need to put it very clearly, transparently, and precisely to this individual, and it is manager's duty to ensure that transformation happens to the team, to this individual, where they understand. So it's very important. The chain has become bigger and bigger because there are a lot of confusion. The flexibility were not being managed. We had this mindset. majorly, if you see, the blocks is on our mind, right? There's a trust issues, right? We don't trust our people. We think that, okay, if they're working from home, they may not be as productive. When we incentivize, we always look at, I have had discussion topics with people where I see they kind of favor people working from office because they see, okay, if they're working from office, they would be more productive than people who are working from home. While if you see people who are working from home, they end up spending more hours than people working from offices. Okay, so you cannot quantify that. So there are a lot of factors which comes along for a person to decide and impacted this great resignation. One factor is compensation, but it is not that major factor that I would like to bring into the topic. That or else there are companies, startup founders, they got seed funding, they got huge money. After this edutech you look at, right, and they are paying people at 200% hike. Do they not have there are huge attritions as well, right? 200% hike, and the guy is looking for now 300%. So, this chain has created. So, how flexibly we are making people in line to the culture? The culture has to be set from the organization standpoint. Founders and entrepreneurs of the companies are directly responsible. People management needs to be taken care of, the managers. And, setting expectations and looking from an employee standpoint. There are various studies, people can do a lot of analytics, they can do pulse service to understand what their employees need and accordingly shape the culture, accordingly shape the organization. But it has to be a baseline. So we need to focus and invest on employee brand also, and not just the employer brand. This is one I thought I'll probably have. Yeah.
Great. I think a lot of insights here. But the question here, again, Prasanjit and Saswati, is this is all about people, and HR is the center, has been in the forefront of managing this whole, great resignations, and even during the pandemic stage where HR was seen as the champion or the flag bearer of the transformation which happened. And even the transformation from organization which moved from from in office to the hybrid, or to now the hybrid, but to work from home. Now there engagement becomes an extremely critical part. While people are, like we are talking today through this channel, technology, to so many people. Now technology has been a critical part of our life. How is HR wanting to take engagement and, in a way, recognition as part of as a key driver towards combating this great resignation? What roles are HR playing? My question now goes to Prasanjit, if you can start, and then Saswati can join.
Yeah, sure. So, see, technology, there is no alternative to technology. Today's the situation we are in, right? So, HR tech is the most important function. Digitalization is the most important function. So, technology adoption is extremely important everywhere, especially when people are working remotely. So HR's job is to enable technology, ensure that automation happens. Today's HR leaders are putting a lot of AI context, right, in all the technology that they're working, and keeping all that Excel sheet aside and moving into a mostly automation side, right? One revolution is MS Teams. We were not much of MS Teams when we were working, and then 2020, I think we switched to mostly digital way of working. So, and you can do a lot of things through all these technologies. So, and people adopting, but coaching and mentoring is always required through technology. So, I think one important aspect is that learning, skilling people, so upskilling on future skills, which is extremely important. So, what are future skills? So, digital revolution is one future skill. So, are we investing and putting the skilling opportunity as far as futuristic skills is concerned? Are we putting technology in a top priority to analyze the work that we are doing, right, and coming up with solution mindset using the technology? Are we ensuring that the employees are adopting the technology need of the organization in line to the business concept. So whatever organization can do, some organization are investing in 5 to 10 tools. Some companies are doing it one by one based on their business scope, based on their business strategies. Anything we do, I think one important I can tell you from an HR practitioner, that HR practitioner cannot do something which is out of the blue or coming from a North Pole. It has to be in line to business. If my business today technology enhancement, even I am manufacturing in technology enhancement of, let's say, 2 tools and developing the mindset of people who they use the technology, those technology to 100% in full scale. It's my job. I should do it, and then involve managers, and that's a detailed part of it. But just because the bandwagon has joined, or probably have attended 5 conferences, I see a lot of HR leaders are doing a lot of new things, and I tried new things without realizing what my business want is not something which I would recommend. So whatever we do, even at a small scale of technology education, we do it as relevant to the business. Yeah, over to Saraswati.
Yes, Aswati.
Yeah, hi. So I agree with what Prasenjit has said, and quickly to add to his points. First point is that technology is here to stay. It's not going to go away, right? And technology can be used in many facets of HR. You spoke about one, which is about recognition, right? And that's what you were talking about, Kaustubh. So honestly, I think HR has to first educate and upskill itself on technology. So we are just running and in many cases implementing, but then we are seeing that the adoption is not there. So in the past it has happened. I know of so many. In fact, I'm struggling right now on upskilling my team on what a certain listening tool can do for us, and how can they be an extended part of HR to listen to people, to figure out their needs, and then create recognition, appreciation, which ultimately leads to engagement and retention. First point is HR should upskill itself. Second point, only when we upskill ourselves, we should then be able to assess whether we need that technology or not. Maybe only automation of processes, which we have been doing. I think 20 years back, I implemented HRIS, right? And I have, over a period of time, now integrated AI, etc., etc. Now, then maybe that's the only need. You don't need a AI enabled ATS. You might not be at a stage that you need a listening tool, a mood score. So HR has to figure out what is required at that time for the business, and they can do it only when they upskill themselves. So upskilling of HR professionals, then tying it up with business needs, like Prasenjit said, and then comes the adoption and the ROI. Right now, I do believe that although we are adopting in pockets, the impact and the ROI is still not there, especially on more evolved tools which are AI enabled. We really don't know how to even utilize it.
Sorry, great. And I was just listening to both of you, Prasenjit and Saraswati. I think while technology is one, AI enablement is great. Recognition in this kind of a virtual world has become, while you said the most important piece which I picked out here is that upskilling of the HR fraternity and the readiness of HR of tomorrow to combat these kind of situations. Where do you see that the HR of today is lacking? Because today, when you look at it, the education system has not changed. The talent which comes out of various management institutes, I've been following up with the textbooks and the curriculum of all the management institutions. They have not changed over the years. they have been taught the same old textbook that we were taught 20 years back, and they with the only change being that they moved from textbook to online. How is it that you're going to get those kind of people on board? Because they come with a particular mindset. Still, I think the other big issue which I believe HR people face is that anybody who comes out of a university or a college degree with a college degree comes thinking that he or she knows everything that is being taught or seen in the corporate world, and upskilling becomes extremely difficult or becomes a taboo for somebody who's just out of college. How are we going to manage this? I think HR fraternity per se has been facing these kind of issues, since a long time. I think Shashwati, I see you smiling. You can take this one up.
I could see Prasenjit smiling, and I was about to tell him that go for it because I can go on about it. So, Prasenjit, go for it, then I'll just add on.
I was smiling because you just said that before, that are HR ready to and take that technology? Are we skilled enough? Now this is something we need to stand in front of the mirror and asking these questions. Okay, all of us as practitioners. So that is the first step that we should do it. Okay, and then I think a lot of things will get clear once we know that okay, this is our goal, this is our vision, which is also aligned with the organization. This is what we can do, and then we can get an ROI. And most importantly, what you said, Kaustubh, and it's funny. Till today, if you look at, we have this, even we say that, okay, we have like moved 20 years, 20,000 feet up from what our ancestors were or our, our predecessors were. Still, the mindset is somewhere have not changed, because till today we are looking for MBA, HR guys, and we think that they are the best fit in the job. Not that they are not there is no fitment issue per se. I'm just giving an example. So, skill is important aspect, right? So, education, I feel, should not come as priority where skill becomes a secondary aspect and education becomes primary. You hire via skills. So your talent acquisition, when you're acquiring talent, when you're hiring people, you don't look at, okay, I have a great guy from just because they have a great degree, that means they will have great productivity and they will have a great ROI. So it cannot be simple theory like that. I think great degrees have a great feeling. Okay, so, and then not so great degrees have become founders. Okay, and they have become. I was just reading out of the context. I was reading, reading few takes and founders that okay, we graduate, we
Prasenjit, we are missing. We are not able to hear you. We are not able to hear you, Prasenjit. If you can repeat what you said.
okay. Can you hear me now?
No, we can't. So if you don't mind, can I request Shashwati to take over and then you can join in? Shashwati.
Yeah, please.
Sure. So I'll just quickly go to your question, Kaustubh. So because it is so close to my heart. I'm passionate about the work I do, and I'm passionate about my function. So it really sometimes I feel a little disappointed and disillusioned when HR, whether it is fresher or whether people who are experienced, kind of feel that they don't, first of all, they don't need to know numbers. That is first. And secondly, they don't need to understand too much of technology. These, and if they are nice, if they're communicating well, they're engaging with people, and if they know the process and the concept, that's enough. That's not enough. So even the business understanding, if you do not have the basic understanding of business and numbers, how will you do your job? And the same thing comes to the technology. If you do not know what is the new technology which is coming up, which is going to impact the business and your function, then how will you go ahead and implement, engage? And in fact, for me, how will I get the budgets? How will I show the ROI even if I don't understand the technology? Where is my ROI? So I will not get it. So the point is, I think somewhere as professionals, we are in our comfort zone. We feel, and I'm saying we because I need to upskill myself every day. It's not about I upskill myself 6 months back, oh now that doesn't work anymore. Every day something new is coming up. That is first. Secondly, we can't be comfortable. I keep telling my team also, 20, 23, 24 years back, I used to source from the job portals. And even today, you are doing the same thing. What is the new way you have integrated technology? What is the new way wherein you are doing some, not HR accounting, you are doing HR analytics to figure out what gives you the highest ROI in terms of sourcing platforms also. So I think we don't think, we are very comfortable. There are still jobs around wherein you can do this and you can grow to a certain stage, but that's going to go away. So we need to upskill. How we do it, I think I always hire for attitude. If the person has the attitude, I will teach the skill. So I think that's where we need to assess that, do you have the attitude to learn and grow? The rest will become redundant, I'm sorry to say.
Absolutely, and I think sorry, I think we've lost Prasenjit. He's
Oh,
been facing
where did he go?
some issues
Okay.
with his technology, but Saraswati, we'll continue the discussion, and I'll take you. I'll keep. I think you are absolutely right that there is very little that has happened in the HR fraternity and the growth of the HR fraternity. I think we need to, as leaders, need to invest far more and need to look at the younger generation which is coming in differently. Uh, there is recognition has always been a very typecast phenomenon. There has been a formula to recognition. Plan, have some reward program, have something there, give them an engagement program, do some song and dance, play some games, and it has always been on the periphery here and there. And recognition it always gains importance with the HR leader when they see that there is a 10% attrition which is happening, or somebody is leaving. Suddenly, HR wakes up and says कि इसको थोड़ा बढ़ा के दे दो, or something happens. And I think that has been a trend. How is it that a structured recognition program can be a part of the entire engagement, engagement story of or a strategy of an HR function? Saraswati, I don't have anybody, so
Yes,
you will have to take it on now.
we don't have
Yeah.
Prasenjit here. Hopefully, he joins quickly. But just to, so what I'll do, Kaustubh, is give my observations, because we are still struggling with it. It's not that I have all the answers and I have a fantastic strategy in place, or that someone else has. Nobody has. I keep interacting with my fraternity. We know that we are all struggling. So, oh, we have Prasenjit back. Great. So
Sorry.
I think, no worries. I think recognition in today's context, considering that there are 3, 4 different generations working in the same workplace, it has to be continuous. It cannot be one which you have made annual awards, fun at work, or half yearly awards, or ongoing structured awards. I think it has to be a continuous process, and it has to come from different directions. It has to come from overall organization, it has to come from your peer, it has to come from your subordinate, it has to come from your stakeholder, client, etc. So one kitty organization, what we also do is, and nothing wrong in it, but we usually do is, if there are 5 good performers and you want to kind of recognize all of them, you only have this much, then you rotate, right? So then it loses its significance. But then you also cannot give it to one person over and over again who's relatively higher. So these are dilemmas we face every day. That aside, recognition has to be a continuous process. And more than recognition, I believe appreciation is something the younger generation is looking for. We used to think our times that only if you do something extraordinary, go out of the way, only then you are appreciated. If you get 100 out of 100, then there is appreciation. If you are getting 80, it's okay, it's fine, you've done well, okay, very good. But that 100 out of 100 is appreciation. Nowadays the younger generation feel that even if I'm getting that 33%, I have done my bit, I have passed, so why are you not appreciating me? Where is that instant gratification, that continuous feedback? I'm learning, I'm growing. So 33, 34, 35 marks, so you should appreciate me. I think that generation has grown up with that appreciation. As parents, we do a lot of appreciating our children also. Wow, good job, you participated. I think that we have to evolve. We have to unlearn some of the things and ensure that recognition is a continuous process. Recognition not only in terms of monetary or awards or something, but also linked with appreciation for the effort being put in, for the output, not just the output. Prasanjit, over to you.
Yeah, sorry, I was because of some connectivity issues, so I kind of dropped out. Could not hear the question, but
So I'll
agree
repeat.
to you.
I might repeat
Yeah.
the question, Prasenjit, for you too. So what we were saying is that HR wakes up when somebody leaves. Recognition is not a structure, but is somewhere it is all about song and dance. It's in the periphery. It is not in the heart and soul of the organization, and that is where it comes up in the forefront only when you have some resignations coming in, or somebody leaving the organization, or something, when you feel that one person is slightly jittery. HR wakes up, and then the person is. How is it that a structured recognition platform in an organization helps, and what do you think about it?
Okay, so first of all, I do not agree with HR wakes up. I think we are awake. Okay, so that thought process, I do not agree to that. Typically, see, Kaustubh, when you say people leaving company, right? So one myth is that okay, people leave company because HR has not done it. Now, really, is it that HR has to do something out of the blue to ensure that people would not leave the company? It's business, right? So business has to ensure the business runs. They set up the culture, right? People management was never HR's kitty. First of all, right? We need to understand that. But this function would enable the business, would ensure, because we are enablers. We need to enable the right culture. We need to ensure the business understand why people are leaving and why should people not leave the company. What environment, business, or company needs to create such that people don't leave. So that is first answer of this question. So that needs to be very clear. Secondly, um, recognition, we do so I have to put it simply. We do a lot of analysis, Paretos, we redraft, we create policies, and we make it so clumsy, this recognition process. And I agreed with Saraswati that we forget appreciation, a pat on the back. When we were working in the 90s, a pat on the back matters a lot of us. Till today, for a guy who have just joined an organization as a fresher, you recognize, you give a instant gratification, and you see the productivity will shoot up. A pat on the back is still very relevant for a person to recognize their contribution in the organization. Not every time you can see, okay, everyone will give you an outcome which is like 100% outcome. It cannot happen. It always it's a balance, right? How you balance it. So you have a high performer, you have a mid performer, and you have a bottom quartile performer. So I think one important aspect that we should not be complicating this recognition process, making it simple. We can layer it out that okay, we can have appreciation, instant gratification. Recognition can be, it's a part of total rewards, right? So your compensation and benefit should comes in your advance, let's say for example, it can comes with ESOP, it can comes with sending people for on-site opportunities, it can comes with giving rewards like giving them global certifications, or allowing them to study in global universities, a lot of things you can do it, right? You can create health benefits for family members, they will be very happy. It all depends what your people would want. What if you're an IT company, your needs would be different. If you are again a pharma company, your needs and wants of people would be different. Your culture of the company and the people would be different. So I think we need to realize that we should not complicate recognition. We have complicated long enough, and that is the reason we are also losing people, just because we have created that mindset. Oh, I should not be recognizing this person because he's like not 100%. Like, what should I answer to my CEO? Because he's like 79%, 0.99, not even 80%. Funny part. Okay, so we should not look at that. We should rather see the impact, create case studies, put it in the business that if you do that, this will be an impact. And if we being able to put a proper ROI and show them, educate the business that okay, if you do this is what your impact. Create a pilot, show it to them. I think we are home.
Great. So what I pick up from both these answers is that recognition is all about a mixture of art and science. I hear a lot of art from what Shashwati said and a lot of science from what Prasenjit said. I guess it's a great mix of what mathematics, science, with the dashboards and technology, which basically enable you to showcase what you've done, and recognition, a pat on the back, even a simple gesture, which is basically at your workplace, which is basically far more emotional, far more connecting, is also important. So recognition as of now, what do you think do HR managers need to do in terms of recognition platforms? Do you think it is a great formula to combat resignations? Because we started with resignations being combated by recognitions. Do you think it's a great platform? Do you think it is going to combat, or is there, what is the mantra that the recognition that the recognition platforms or HR managers should answer via to combat this resignation? This thing.
Okay. So I think a great resignation, can be countered by recognition. Before recognition, we should have great evaluation, where we would evaluate what recognitions as a part of total rewards, of course, because the target is how to curb attritions, right? So we should have great re-evaluations. Once we have a great re-evaluations, then we slowly move to great relearning and then great recognition. It's a phase. I think great re-evaluation is like how we are, what are the ways we are recognizing people, how is the impact, right? So all that are the stages of re-evaluations. And then learning, changing your model of work, changing your pace of work, putting a lot of context in simplifying recognition practices, which I think Shashwati said, and I also agree to it, that okay, creating complications measures will anyways make it much more complicated, and will lose potential opportunity to retain the talent. So this is I think these are stages, various stages. This is a phase. You will not see, a sudden change once you shift your focus. It's a behavioral science. So and it's with people. So once you slowly shift towards recognizing people, not just the top performers, but also who are putting a lot of effort, provide areas where they can upskill themselves, ensure that they enhance their skilling capabilities, give them a lot of opportunities, brand them. People are brands. I mean, we don't brand them, right? We don't talk about it. Social media today, we are in a stage of social revolution. In a stage of social revolution, we need to brand our people. So that's called your employee brand. You create that mechanism which helps your people that okay, I am feeling attached with the company because company values me. So this cannot happen in one day, right? Where someone would just think that okay, my company value me as an individual, not just as a performer. So this is a very large area. I think a lot of work needs to be done. A lot of works, a lot of deep thinking needs to be done. Deep diving needs to be done. Maybe on weekends we need to rethink that. Okay, what are we doing? Are we really contributing towards it? I think a lot that okay, you know, how we can make it a little more better, or maybe is it relevant which we are doing? Still, attrition is a challenge. It will remain, but people mindset. If you ask someone that okay, are you happy? So you will see that 86% of the people are switching their jobs. Now this is alarming numbers. Okay, so if we have recognized, we've been recognizing, we have put total rewards, we have done enough thing that why these things are happening. So it will happen. While it's a phase, I think not as an easy answer. To be very honest, Kaustubh, I cannot give you an easy answer. It's like there is a gray area. It's not black and white as we say. There's a gray area. I think we are still thinking whether we are there or not. Okay, and even people who are thinking, okay, they are fantastically there, their attritions are also high. So I cannot just comment on that okay, we are there. I think it's a phase. We are ourselves also evolving as HR practitioners. A lot of evolution has happened over a period of time, and learning from new HR professionals, right? Being patrons, or so all that. So Saraswati, what's your thought? I was thinking on those lines. What should I answer? So I thought that okay, this can be
Yeah.
something.
No,
I can
No,
take
no,
a
no,
one,
that makes sense.
diplomatic
one,
stance
one,
and
one,
kind
one,
of answer.
one small input before Shashwati starts. But just an input from what I just picked up from Prasenjit. Is this a problem or is it not? Great resignations. Are we okay with attrition? Maybe we are. And do we need to really look forward to changing this? We can have a great recognition platform for people who are performing, and we are okay. The performance window, which was earlier thought to be for a lifetime, is only 1 or 2 years. Are we okay with that? Because the talent lifeline with an organization can just be a year or so, because the employment contracts can move from lifetime to a yearly contracts which are linked to performance. So what do you think about this? Shashwati, you can add on to your answer with some bit of
Sure. So, see again, like Prashanjit, and I had told this sometime back also when Prashanjit was not here. See, there are no, I cannot give 1, 2, 3, 4 action points, and now this is the success story. Recognition is part of a much bigger ocean called culture, right? And culture take years to establish. Cannot be done in 6 months, 2 months. It's not a band-aid. So it has to, it takes years and years and years, and it comes from the values of the organization and how we are evolving. Having said that, are we okay with attrition? Yeah, we are okay with some attrition. We always have been. There has to be some churn. What we are not okay is when attrition is skewed towards the high performers. When the high performers are leaving more, then maybe relatively, again, I'm saying it's relative, for because somebody might be a high performer somewhere else. So, relatively in an organization, if the high performers are moving more, they're taking away knowledge, they're taking away the training time that we have invested in them, they're taking away the KT, the knowledge transfer, which should have been done to someone else, to successors, etc. So that, if that it is skewed towards that, then that is a problem. But attrition aside, I think recognition is something we don't think too much about. Honestly, we think about programs like mentoring, training and learning and development, which includes upskilling. We think about how to ensure that with the compensation structure is good. We think about wellness programs. We do all that, But that recognition kitty, I think holistically, we don't spend too much time in, and I think we should, because that's that when we start thinking about recognition, we start thinking about what purpose the we start thinking from the individual's point of mind. What is motivating him to stay here, or him or her to stay here? What is it that the person is gaining besides money? Money, somebody else will outplay you any day. Any day somebody else is going to outplay you. Somebody else will give $1,000 more and the person leaves, right? So keeping money aside, like Prasanji said, what is it that the person is getting motivated by? Is he getting motivated by the fact that you are recognizing the family's contribution to the organization, not just that person's? I used to, as HR head of Chail, which is a Samsung group, in my last organization, I used to send a signed letter. I used to sign it myself, send it to the family members of the new joiner, saying that thank you very much that you are supporting this person. That is why this person is able to contribute to the organization. So thank you very much on behalf of the organization. I have received humongous number of appreciation mail from the family because of that simple letter, which it costs nothing. That is also a recognition, which is an extended recognition. I think we don't spend enough. There are many ways we can touch the human heart, and recognition does that. And will it impact resignation? Definitely. When you are touching the heart does not want to let go that place, right? One person stays. My parents still stay in Guwahati. They don't come and stay with. I'm from Assam. They don't come and stay with me because the heart is there. I might give them better facilities. It might be a metro city, roads are big, everything is good, but they still will not come because the heart stays there, right? So I think, yes, it is critical. We don't spend enough time doing it. We should. And the last point is customization. One hat will not fit all, even inside the organization. The kind of recognition you do for a fresher might not be the same that you do for a leadership or mid-level. So recognitions also has different stages, like the Maslow's hierarchy. There are different stages of your life. So, and recognition takes different forms in different stages of the individual's life. So I think we need to spend little more time on that.
Great, thank you, and actually, thank you so much, Shashwati and Prasanjit. I think this was wonderful discussion. Unfortunately, we are coming to the end of the show, and while I actually picked up a couple of questions from the audience as well, which and I don't think we've got 3 or 4 more questions which have come to me, but I don't think we've got the time and to take those questions. But I think this was great insight. I mean, what the takeaway is being that while resignations is an issue, a strong recognition platform, which is a mix of both, as we said, a mix of both art and science, is extremely critical. While it is important to have a recognition to be a part of the entire total reward strategy, it needs to be a mix of both heart and head, where you recognize people across the segment, and it's about being the lifeline of an organization. So it's not about just paying people more. It's about actually just a small gesture and having a platform which actually makes it easy for an individual to be feeling welcomed at the organization, to be feeling wanted at the organization. Thank you so much, Prasanjit and Shashwati, and I will have you give you about 30 seconds each if you can just round up, and it'll be great for us to say thank you so much for you and goodbye. You can really end. You've got 30 seconds, both Shashwati and Prasanjit. Thank you.
You go first, Shashwati. I'll finish it up.
Okay, so first of all, I think it was a fantastic topic and a great discussion. Prasanjit, I learned a lot, so thank you so much. Kaustubh, your questions were fantastic. So what I can say is that all HR professionals there, not to anyone else. And in business, we always keep educating and facilitating. I'm leaving business aside, but to HR, to the HR fraternity, that I think we need to now start looking at ourselves more minutely. We should come out of our comfort zone. Otherwise, technology is going to make us more and more uncomfortable. We need to upskill ourselves every day and consider different creative ways of recognizing, nurturing, developing, and retaining people, because times are changing, generations are changing, needs are changing, platforms are changing. So it's time to take a pause, not be in our comfort zone, and be disruptive. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Over to you, Prasanji.
Thank you so much, Shastri. A lot of learning from you and a lot of insights. Thanks, Kaustubh, as well, for summing it up so well. Um, yeah, I think one thing I would like to tell the audience, especially of course the HR fraternity that is listening, that like doing games is like how doing games is not just engagement. I mean, if you do fun and games, it's not your engagement show. Same like that, your just sending an email is not your recognize the employees. There are ways, there are practices. You need to keep open, keep learning, ensure your look at things which is, I think, your whether your populations are aligned to your values,
I think we've lost Prasanjit, but thank you so much
where
for.
going separately to what is, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, thank you so much, Prasanjit and
yeah. Thank
Saraswati. It
you.
was a wonderful, wonderful session. We enjoyed it a lot, and I hope the audience did so. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a
Thanks a
good day.
lot. Bye bye. Bye.
Bye.
Take care, Prasanjit. Kaustubh.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.